Hello class, my name is Polymer Excel and I ask you going forward to address me as Professor Polly. I wish you all a good morning, afternoon and evening, and I hope you all are having a splendid day. If not, then I hope that my presence here will help contribute to you having a better day. Now for today, we are going to jump straight into it, returning to Alice in Wonderland Chapter 3 by Lewis Carroll. For those who wish to join us for today's session, I ask you to please utilize the restroom before we start. I ask you to gather some water, something to drink. Yes, indeed, I'm making that distinction. No, I will not clarify what you should be drinking. I will also ask if you'd like to gather something to eat, but we will be jumping straight into it. Now please stand by, we will start momentarily. Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Chapter 3. A Race. They were a funny-looking crowd as they stood or sat on the bank. The wings and tails of the birds drooped to the earth. The fur of the beasts clung close to them. And all were as wet and cross as could be. The first thought, of course, was how to get dry. They had a long talk about this, and Alice joined in as if she had known them all her life. But it was hard to tell what was best. "What I want to say," at last the dodo spoke, "is the best thing to get us dry would be a race." "What kind of race?" asked Alice. Not that she wanted to know, but the dodo had paused as if it thought that someone ought to speak, and no one else would say a word. "Why," the dodo said, "the best way to make it plain is to do it. And as you might like to try the thing some cold day, I'll tell you how the dodo did it. First, it marked out a race course in a sort of ring. It didn't care much for the shape, and then all the crowd were placed on the course here and there. There was no 1, 2, 3, here we go. They ran when they liked and left off when they liked, so that no one could tell when the race was ended. When they had been running half an hour or so, they were all quite dry. The dodo called it, "The race is over!" And all crowded round it and asked, "But who has won?" This the dodo could not at first tell, but sat for a long time, though with one claw pressed to its head, while the rest waited, but did not speak. At last the dodo said, "All have won, but each must have a prize." "But who's to give them all?" they all asked at once. "Why, she, of course," said the dodo, as it pointed to Alice with one long claw. The whole party at once crowded round her as they called out, "A prize! A prize!" Alice did not know what to do. She pulled from her pocket a box full of little cakes. Like a strange good luck, they did not get wet while she was in the pool, and handed them round as prizes. There was one apiece all around. "But she must have a prize, you know," said the mouse. "Of course. What else have you got?" He went on as he turned to Alice. "A thimble," said Alice, looking quite sad. "Hand it here." They all crowded round her once more, while the dodo handed the thimble back to Alice and said, "We beg that you accept this fine thimble." And when it had made its short speech, they all cheered. Alice thought the whole thing was quite foolish, but they all looked so serious that she did not dare to laugh. And as she could not think what to say, she bowed and took the thimble while she looked as serious as she could. The next thing was to eat the cakes. This caused some noise, as the large birds said they could not taste theirs, and the small ones choked and had to be patted on the back. It was over at last. They sat down in a ring and begged the mouse to tell them all a tale. "You said you would tell us why you hate cats and dogs." "Mine is a long, sad tale," said the mouse, as it turned to Alice with a sigh. "It is a long tale, I'm sure," said Alice, looking down at the mouse's tail. "But why do you call it sad?" "I shall not tell you," said the mouse, as it got up and walked off. "Please come back, tell us your tale," called Alice, and all joined in. "Yes, please do." But the mouse shook its head and walked on and was soon out of sight. "I wish I had Odina here. I know I do," said Alice. "She'd soon fetch it back." "And who is this Dina, if I might ask such a thing?" said one of the birds. Alice was glad to talk of her pet. Dana's our cat, and she's such a fine one to catch mice. You can't think, and... Oh, I wish you could see her chase a bird. Why, she'll come eat a bird as soon as it look at it. This speech caused a great stir in the party. Some of the birds rushed off at once. One old jay wrapped itself up with care and said, I must get home. The night air doesn't suit my throat. And a wren called out to her brood, Come, dears, it's high time you were all in bed. Soon they all moved off and Alice was left alone. I wish I hadn't told him off of Dina, she said to herself. No one seems to like her down here. I'm sure she's the best cat in the world. Oh, my dear Dina, shall I ever see you any more? And poor Alice burst into tears, for she felt very sad and lonely. In a short time she heard the patter of feet, and looked up with hope that the mouse had changed its mind and come back with its long, sad tail. The story was brought to you by Rerio.com for free. Our mission is to give all children to the world free access to a variety of stories. The stories can be read, downloaded, and printed online, and cover a wide range of topics including animals, fantasy, science, history, diverse cultures, and more. Support our mission by sharing our lore website. We wish you a lot of fun reading. Rerio, imagination over knowledge. Thank you everybody for joining us for today. I thank you all for joining us, but unfortunately, our time has come, as you can see. For those who wish to see the future chapters, they shall be posting hopefully more frequently than last time I've been posting them. If you liked what you see here and you'd like to see more and join me for the next chapter, I'd ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please help it grow. Now, please, I bid you all a fine farewell. Today's session has now come to an end, and I do ask as you leave to please leave behind some of the happiness you may bring. And I bid you all a fond farewell.